My name is Jace Butterfly, and this is my informative speech. From the beginning of time, people have fought over equality. Even America's forefathers proudly affirmed in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal. This famous document in America's history, though it spells out what equality means in no uncertain terms, is still challenged today, hundreds of years later. While some strive their entire lives to uphold the morals of equality and justice, others spend their lives searching for ways to beat the system, no matter who is hurt or destroyed along the way. One place where cheating is becoming a phenomenon is in the sports world. Because of an athlete's desire to be the best, performance-enhancing drugs are becoming extremely widespread in today's society, even beginning as early as high school. In an article about teen athletes published by the Mayo Clinic, many high school students are turning to these drugs to excel in high school so that they can be noticed by scouts and secure a place in college careers. Today I want to inform my audience about the use of performance-enhancing drugs in sports worldwide, such as baseball, football, and track. When people think of performance-enhancing drugs, they probably first think of baseball and the controversial Barry Bonds allegations. However, professional baseball has been dealing with performance-enhancing drugs for many years now. Some of the best players to ever play the game have tested positive for taking PEDs. Great players like Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, and Sammy Sosa have all dealt with allegations and ruined their names forever. All of these players would have been first ballot Hall of Famers, but because of steroid claims, they may never receive enough votes to get in. Because so many athletes in the 90s and early 2000s took these substances, it caused our youth to do it. According to an article, an estimated 4 to 12% of U.S. high school boys and up to 3.3% of high school girls have taken an anabolic steroid. I say this because kids look up to these guys, and anyone who watched could tell how great they were. So when these kids became young adults, they figured, if I want to be like Bonds, maybe I should do this. Or if Bonds did it and stayed healthy, then it must be safe, so I can do it too. Another sport that PEDs are often found in is football. Football has always been known as being one of the toughest sports. It requires strength, agility, and speed. So because the athletes are looking for ways to gain an advantage, to be the best on the field, in many cases, that advantage is performance-enhancing drugs. The NFL has held a policy against banned substances since 1987, one of the longest in all of professional sports. But these drugs were around even before that. Even today, athletes get caught taking banned substances and face suspensions, although suspensions aren't nearly as severe as they are in baseball. Because tests for PEDs are improving year to year, it is becoming much harder for these players to get away with taking these substances. I chose to focus on track because in this year's Summer Olympics, there was lots of controversy on PEDs. All but one member of the Russian track team was banned from competing in the Rio Olympics this year. This is important because it shows just how widespread these substances have become and the role that they play on all of our sports. The director of Russia's anti-doping lab even claimed that he came up with a concoction of banned drugs that the Russian athletes were taking to prepare for the Olympics. In conclusion, it is clear to see that no one sport is significant when it comes to performance-enhancing drugs. These drugs can be found in any sport, and I'm sure some athletes in other sports could tell you stories about how these drugs are abused in their field as well. Because so many athletes are able to get away with using these drugs and not get caught, it makes one wonder whether true champions are really champions, or is it only the drugs giving them the extra talent that they need to be victorious. Not to mention the players who ruin the name for other players in their field. So the next time you watch a fabulous 80-yard run or you see a great hit, ask yourself, was that God-given talent or was that the use of PEDs?